All right. Good morning, everybody. Today is Daf Kuf Nun Beis, Masechah Shabbos, the 23rd parak. We left off at the top. We were discussing about the aging of one's body and how it was hinted to in different psukim, how the faculties of one's body changes. We were talking about tears last time. We left off. Some tears are good for the body, some are bad. There are two lines on the top. So it says, the pasuk, where is this? Allah, the pasuk in Koheles, it says, Bayayim, Sheyazu, Shemrei Habayis, Visavsu. Remember to keep your phone on mute. So he said over there, Bayayim Sheyazu, Shemrei Habayis, Visavu, on the day when the guards of the house will tremble, V'chule. So now the Gemara darshans the pasuk. So Bayayim Sheyazu, Shemrei Habayis, right? In the days when, who guards the house? So Elu Haksalim Atzalavs, those are the ribs, right? The rib cage, person part of the body, that's the main part of the body. Visabu Anshe Achayil, and then it says the strong men, the men of war, who is that? Ela Shokim, those are the legs, those are the largest muscles in one's body. Ubatlu Hatochnos, and then it says the grinders, those will be batal, those will be nullified in an older age. Those Elo Shinaim, those are the teeth. The Chashchu Harois Barubos, and the people who look out won't be able to see. Eloinai, that's referring to the eyes. So as a person gets older, it becomes old age, his body will deteriorate. And Amarle case of Rabbi Shua ben Chananya, my time asis lebe avidan. Why did you not come to Be'avidan? I guess we had a whole discussion there, right? You were supposed to be there in attendance. Amarle, so he said to him, Tur tlag, sachirene, glidin, kaloibi, loy nevichin, tachtainim, loy teichmin. He says, how can I go? He says, Tur tlag, right? The mountain is full of snow, referring to his hair, is all white. Sachrani glidin, right, surrounded by ice. In other words, my beard is white, my hair is white. Kalabila nevichin, right, the dogs don't bark, i.e., he's not able to just go travel as easy. And tachrani lo tachninim, right, I can't travel as easy because also, as we'll soon see, right, because and my teeth don't work like they used to. I'm old, right? It's hard for me to travel. It's not easy to go there. And Bei Rav Amri Adela Avidna Bachishna. So he says, and not only that, it looks like that I'm looking for something which is lost, even though I'm not looking for anything. In other words, he's hunched over, he's bent down. So therefore, when he walks, it looks like he's looking for something, but that is referring to his old age. And Tanel and Abrayis Rabbi Yaisi Bar Kisma Aimer Tava Trei Mitlas. 2 is better than 3, right? Walking on two legs is better than walking with 2 legs and a cane. And what was it to something that he had and doesn't come back? And what is that? What's that? Right? Yankusa, that's a person's youth, right? Age does not come back. Kiyasa Ravdimi Omar, Yankusa Klila Devardas, and Savusa Klila de Chilfa, right? So, Yankusa, right? Youth is like a thing of roses around one's head, and however, old age is like that of, ferns around one's head. Not as nice. And Tana Mishra Meir, Duk the Kave, the Tishkach, the Nigre. So he says, chew, very, good with your teeth in terms of, for your food. In other words, that there'll be a hop in your step, and over you'll be able to walk better, to move better if you chew your food and digest it well. Shinamar said, the Nishba Velechem V'nia Tovim V'ra Larinu. And it says, right, and it'll be satiated with bread, and it'll be good. It'll be good, and you won't see bad. And Amar Lei Shmuel Rabbi Yehuda Shina, he says, wise one. Shari sakecha b'aylechamecha, right? Go ahead and open your sack, open your mouth, and then put in there food, right? In other words, you should eat well until 40 years, right? Eating solid foods is good for you. However, after that, liquids are good. After the age of 40, liquids are better and not not solids. And Amar Le'ahu Guzoy Rabbi Yeshua ben Karcha. So now we have we have a back and forth between a person and a guzah, right? A guzah is a cerise, right? A cerise is a person who either he was born that way, he was a eunuch, someone who's who's not able to reproduce, and he was also a tzedukah. He was a non-believer. He was a tzedukah, so he would fight. So he came up upon Rabbi Yeshua ben Karcha. Yeshua ben Karcha actually did not. He was also bald, Rabbi Yeshua ben Karcha. So he decided that this tzedukah was going to mock Rabbi Yeshua ben Karcha of his chisaron, his baldness. So how far is it from here to Karchina? Now, karchina, karach is a way of saying bald. So basically, he's saying how far is he from karchina, basically hinting at his baldness. Amalei. So Rabbi Shua ben Karcha gave it right back. He says, it's as far from here to Goznaya, and Goznaya once again is a sris, is a person who's not able to reproduce. So he's he made up like in town. Samarle Tzeduki. So Baruch Karcha be'arba. So he said a bald a bald part of the of chickens, right? That goes for 4 dinarim. So he was talking about the Karcha once again, the bald one. So Samarle. Oh yeah, so it was better than the bald one is the one that can't reproduce. It's the sris. So then he looked down. The Tzduki looked down and he saw that Rabbi Shua ben Karcha was not wearing any shoes. So a person who rides on a horse, right, is a king. A person rides on a donkey is a free person. And someone who at least wears shoes is a person. Deloiha, right? Someone who doesn't have anything, a horse, right? Not even a donkey, not even shoes, such as you. The chavir we go ahead and bury such a person, right? That person's better off than someone without shoes. I.e., he was mocking Rabbi Shua ben Karcha because he wasn't wearing shoes. So he says, Mr. Sris, right? You told me 3 things, and therefore shamanta. Therefore, I'm going to tell you 3 things. So hajjus panim zakeh. Right, the hajjus panim, the glory is to a face is one's beard, right? So a sris, a person, a eunuch, is not a person who's able to reproduce, and he doesn't really go through maturity, physical maturity, so he doesn't have a beard. Simchas lev isha, and therefore a person's heart is made happy, right, through one's wife. You weren't able to have a wife, and nachal Hashem banim, and the nachal Hashem is one's children. And Baruch Hamakosh v'nechem mikula. And Baruch Hashem, He did not give you any of these. Samarlei, karcha mitzuyana, right? Says you're an arguing, bald man. Samarlei, ikara shalifa techecha, right? So you yourself, you're someone who's an akar. Once again, he not be able to reproduce. And why are you techecha, right? Why are you fighting with me, right? So basically, it was a back and forth. So what is to learn from the story? I'm not sure, right? But he said he gave it back and forth. I don't think Rashi says as to why it was brought in here, but okay, fine. I guess we're speaking about because he was bald, right? Maybe from old age. So Amar le Rabbi Shimon ben Chalafta. How come you didn't come? You didn't allow us to go ahead and and visit you during the regal. Just like my father used to go ahead and visit your fathers. So Amar le Saloi nasu gavoyim, karayvim nasu rechaykim, mishtayim nasu shalosh, and Mesim Shalom Babayis Batal. So he says, because why? Because rocks, right, or little hills now appear as mountains. It's very tougher to travel, right? Something which is very low hill, a little uphill seems like a mountain, right? And that which used to be close now is very far in this old age. And that which used to seem to be 2 miles away now appears to be like 3 miles. Everything is much farther. And not only that, and that which makes the shalom in my house, right, is batal, right? In other words, that in terms of being, I guess, we're referring to with one's wife. So therefore, the desire, the physical desire, also has dissipated in his old age. The sugo dulasim b'shuk, and says the doors are closed in the shuk, in the marketplace. So elin the kavashaladim, these are referring to one's holes, right? They'll be plugged up, when he gets older. And b'shafel kol hatachana b'shuk karkonim shein teichen. And also the grinding as well, because the teeth won't work as much as they used to, and therefore won't be able to digest the food. Then all of that, the birds were chirping, we'll hear it. And even the birds, chirping in the morning will wake one up in the old age. The shachu kol banoi sashir, and it says all the voices will go. You won't be able to hear it. Shafil kol sharin v'sharas daimas lav kashucha. Right, even all the singing, loud singings will become like whispers in old age. The af Barzli Hagilad Yam, or even Barzli Hagilad says to David, Ben Shmanim Shana Anechi Hayim Haida Ben Latavra. I'm 80 years today, 80-year-olds, right? Do I know between good and bad? So from here we see that even the minds of tzaddikim, they change as they get older. And even Tom Avdechas Asher Eichel Vesa Asher Eshte, right? So it says, and now that can your servant go ahead and taste the good, whether it's good or bad, or drink. So mikan shosayim shosakeni mitzrapa is also here. We see that the lips right? I guess they can't taste as good as they used to. Their lips become split, as their mouth opens more, and they can't, taste as good as they used to. And once again, that sense goes away. And also say, can I hear, right, the sounds of singing? So here we see that the ears of the Zakanim, those also grow heavy, and those do not work as well as they used to. And Amarav Barzila Hagidaldi Shakar Habi. He was actually a liar. Bas Tishim Shanim, Bahavi Thomas Kidra. Right? This is what do you mean in old age you can't be able to taste this? So Rebbe used to have a maidservant. She was 92, still working. And not only that, she used to be able to go ahead and she would taste the food first, make sure it was tasty and it was good. So you see that even in old age. So why was Barzeh Hagiladi? Why did he say he had no more taste buds or couldn't taste at old age? So Rav Amar Barzeh Hagiladi Shatu Bazimahavi. Right? He was busy with being immoral. Shatu Bazima. The Chashatu Bazima is the kind of kofetz, and a person who lives such a lifestyle, then his age, will catch up with him quicker. So Tani learned Bryce, Rabbi Yishmael, Rabbi Yaisi, Aimir, Tamid Chachamim, Kol Zman Shem, the Zakanim Chacham, and Nis Nitosefes Bohem. When Chachamim become older, they become wiser. Shinamar Zabasa says, B'Yishishim Chachma v'Arichamim Tavunas. It says, and as they age, there's Chachma, and the length of the days, there's Tavuna, there's understanding. However, when it comes to Amiyaretz, those who don't learn Torah, when they get older, they don't get wiser. They actually become more tipesh, dumber. The pasuk says, "Meisir safa l'ne'emim v'tam zekenim yikach." It says over there, and that which they say won't be trusted, and because their reasoning will also be taken away. And gam mi gavo yiro, and also they have a fear of heights. Shafilu gavshushas katana doime alav kare harim. Even a small little hill will appear like a mountain, very difficult to walk. The chas chatim baderech, and we scared on the road. Was amim shashem halach baderech nasula tavayim. Right, when they'll travel, they'll be anxious. The nights ha shaked. And zoy, and then it describes part of the body that will go. So v'nights ha shaked zo klivoses. That's referring to the hips. By Vistakel Hachagav Elu Agavos, right? So it says it'll become the Chagav, the grasshopper, will become a burden to carry. There's Agavos, there's the ones behind, right? The Safar Havyena Zemchemda, and now it said that one's desire, right, for women now also dissipate. And Rav Kana Havi Pasuk Sidra coming to Rav, he was learning this for Rav, and Kimat Haikar came to this Pasuk. So Nagi the Vitnach. So Rav went. He sighed, right? He made a noise. Samar, so Shmamina, Batalei Chemda the Rav. Must be the Rav, I guess, hit this age where also his desire also has dissipated. And Amar Rav Kahana, mean Kuhu Amar V'yei, right? And Hashem said, right, and it came to be. So Isha is referring to a woman, that a man should go ahead and desire a woman. It doesn't necessarily, is not logical sense. And Utziva v'yamod, and also Hashem commands, and they want a lobanim. That's to go ahead and reproduce, to have children. Satana isha chema maleitzoa, right? A woman, you think about it, right? She's she's just something full of tzoa, full of tzoa, full of feces, upia malidam, and also she's full of blood. She menstruates, right? Nevertheless, the men, her spouse still desires her to reproduce. So it's only really because of minashamayim that the man wants to go ahead and reproduce and pay tuition. Because a person goes to his house, his base olamo, his eternal home. Every person gets his proper place, right, when they come up to his final resting. So like a king who comes to the city with his servants, when they enter, they all enter together. So when everyone dies, right, the same way. However, that where they reside, every person takes in, the proper hotel room, right? The king gets the presidential suite, and so on and so forth, and the other ones have to share up in hostels and stuff like that. So everyone gets the fee olamo. So it says when they're young, It's all hevel, it's all vanity. So right? Things that he does in his youth will darken his face when he comes older. Right? A worm in the body of a dead person is like a needle through the live flesh of a living person. The pasuk says, even his flesh will be for pain even after death. And I was referring to worms going in. Right? The soul of a person mourns for him all 7 days after he dies. It says, it says his nefesh, his soul will be an avil. It says over there, it says over there that he will mourn for him basically for 7 days. And as a person who dies who does not have those who mourn him. So go ahead, and then 10 people go there and should go ahead and mourn for that person. And how the Shachi B'Shikva said Rabbi Yehuda one time there's someone who died in the neighborhood of Rabbi Yehuda, and lo hayo lo menachem, he did not have anyone to be menachem to go ahead and mourn for him. So what happened? So what they do? Turn the page. Kol yoma havid davar Rabbi Yehuda be'asara. So every day he would go ahead and bring a group of 10 people. V'yasi v'duchte. And then they would go ahead and sit by the person's grave. They would mourn for that person. However, after 7 days, right? You should be arrested, Rav Yehuda. Thank you, because now that my soul has, been, put to ease, I was mourned for. Amar Rabbi Avo. So anything that's said before a mace is known. The mace knows what is said before him. Ad shisazem hagoyel, until they cover up the goyel. The goyel is the stone, the cover stone. The stone after one is placed in the ground, then they put the stone on top. That is called the stimas hagoyel. That is the stone that's put on top, and therefore it's everything is officially closed. He's officially buried, and at that point, the mace does not know what is said above. However, pligi bar Rabbi Chiya Rabbi Shimon Rabbi. It's machlokes between Rabbi Chiya and Rabbi Shimon Rabbi. Chad omar ad shtem hagoyel. One says until it's closed up. The Chad Omar ad she's akel habas. That one says until the flesh decomposes into the ground. So man Omar ad she's akel habas. The pasuk says ach besoro alav yicha v'nafsho alav tavo. So it talks about his flesh in the ground. In other words, and his nefesh will still mourn. In other words, the nefesh knows what's going on while it's still basar. So while it's still flesh, it's still mourning. And Mandar Mashi Sami Hagol, the pasuk says, "V'yeshivafer al aretz kisheya." They'll return to the earth. So once he's returned to the earth, once they close the casket, that's basically when the person knows what's going on in this world. And Tana Rabban about ruach tashuv elokim asher nasna, right? And go ahead, the ruach, one soul will go ahead and return to Hashem that we gave. So tonight lo kamosh nasna lach, but it should be returned to HaKadosh Baruch Hu the same way it was given. The tahira, right, with purity. So afata b'tahira soto, you should go ahead and return your neshama with your ruach with purity. So mashal lemelech basar v'dam shechilek b'idei malchus levadav. It's like a king of flesh, right? A human king that he went ahead and he gave begadim, right? B'idei malchus levadav. He gave clothing from the kingdom. Right, royal clothing to his avadim, his servants. Those were smart. Went ahead, took it away. They put it in plastic, put it in their closets, and put it away. So those are the foolish ones. They went ahead, they took it. Okay, these are royal garbs. Who cares? They went out to do their work. Liyamim later on, so the king requested the clothes back. So the smart ones returned it basically as they took it, right? They were nice and clean. However, the foolish ones, they returned it when it was all dirty because they used it while they were working. So the king was happy with the smart ones because of the constitution. He was angry with the ones who returned it all dirty. Right? Those the good ones, right? I can put them back, the royal garbs, because they were in good shape, and you guys can go home. Thank you very much. However, those who returned it in bad shape, right? They had to go basically to be laundered, right? To be cleaned. It took a while to be cleaned, and the people who did it will have to be locked up in the Beis Yisrael in jail. So let them come and rest in peace Yeah, nishmasim homer by their neshamas. It says v'haisa nevesh adayni tzura b'tzura chayim. Right, they should go ahead and they should be tzura b'tzura chayim with bundles and bundles of life. And al gufan shel rishayim homer, and those that rishayim says ein shalom or shalom rishayim. Right, there is no peace going to be with these rishayim. About their souls, it says, right? And it says about them, then their souls, they will basically be in top in the part of a sling. They'll be basically thrown back and forth in Gehenna, as we'll soon see. So Rabbi Eliezer, those neshamas of the tzaddikim will be under the kisei kavod. Right, those souls will be in Surah Chaim, right? They'll be with Hashem and the Tachas Kisei HaKavod. The Shel Rishayim Zoymos v'Holchos. But those, the Rishayim, those will be, I guess they'll permanently be locked up. Umalach Echad Aimed B'Seif Ha'Elam. Umalach Acher Aimed B'Seif Ha'Elam. And they'll have two different malachim standing at two ends of the world. Umakal Nishmas L'Zazel, and throw the neshamas back and forth. Shemar Pasuk says, "V'Snam Shayvecha Yikalena B'Seif Kafa Kela." Right? They'll be go into the sling. They'll be thrown back and forth. So Amar Lei Rav Nachman Shel Beinoni Mai. What about those people in the middle? Right? They're not Rishayim. They're not tzaddikim. So Amar Lei Ika Shachivna. So Eloi Amri Lechu. Hi Milsa. Had I died, I wouldn't have been able to tell you. It was a good thing you asked me. Right? They actually are also given over to Duma. Duma was the one who basically was in charge of the Rishayim. However, but the Beinanim, at least they'll have rest. And but those, the other words, Rishayim, they won't have rest because, like we said, they'll be the ones basically flung back and forth. And Amar of Mari Asidim Tzadikim Dahavu Afra Dechsiv V'Yashuv Ha'Afar Al Aretz Kshahayim. In the future, the tzaddikim will become dirt, as the pasuk says, right? And they will return as dirt to the earth. So, however, Hanu Kapulai Dahavi Kafli Bara, the Rav Nachman. One time, these people were digging near the house of Rav Nachman, and Nachar Behu Rav Acha Bar Yoshia, right? And what happened? So they were digging, and all of a sudden there was a corpse in there. And the corpse was that of Rav Achai Bar Yoshia, and he basically made a noise at them. Right? He sighed at them. So Asu Bar Nachman went to Rav Nachman. So Nachar Bar Gavra. So someone went ahead and he made a noise at us. So Asu Bar He says, "My Nihumar." So he says, "Who is this?" Amarle, Ana Achai Bar Yoshia. So the body spoke. He says, "I'm Achai Bar Yoshia, who's buried generations earlier." So understand how you still, how is your body still not decomposed, right? Didn't Rav Mari teach, right, in the future that tzaddikim will become dirt? Samarlei, Mani Mari, who's this Mari? I don't know who he is. Samarlei, I've hot cruxy, but he brought a pasuk, v'yeshav afar la'aretz, right? Kshahaya. So he says,
Joel,
right, yeah.
Do we hold by this? Because I thought that tzaddikim don't come to dirt.
So right now this tzaddik was come dirt. So that's what's going on here. So I don't understand how you still here. Rav Mari taught that they've come to dirt, right? So
no, but I also thought that we were taught that we don't come to dirt. Someone else says that we don't come to dirt, right?
So let's see the next. Let's see your response. So he said, "I can see you learned Koheles. That was the pasuk you brought from Koheles. However, lo ekracha Mishlei. You didn't learn Mishlei. Look at Mishlei. The pasuk says in Mishlei, Dechsiv rekav atzamais kina, right? And the bones of rotting will be from kina. So mishi yeshlo kina belibo, someone who has jealousy in his heart, atzmaisa merkavim. His bones will go ahead and rot. And kol shein lo kina belibo, and whoever doesn't have kina in his heart, then ein atzmaisa merkavim. Then his bones will not rot. So l'chara, it's putting the difference at that. Those who don't have kina in their heart, right, those bodies, right, will not necessarily decompose. So gashe. Chazid the East Masha. So he went. Rav Nachman went ahead and he felt and he saw that it was a real. So he says, "Amarle liko mar legavi lebesa. Let's go to your house. I'm going to take you back. You're alive." So Amarle. So Galis adaischa dafila nevila krasas. Now before I accuse you, didn't see you didn't learn Mishnah. Now I see you didn't even learn Navi. I can't take you out of here. See, the pasuk says, you'll know that I am God because only I, Hashem, will take you out of your kfar. Only Hashem can do tchias amesim and not anybody else. So it doesn't say, but understand, you start as dirt and then you go back to dirt. You become dirt. So how do you not decompose? Shas achas kaidet ches mason. When do they become dirt? Only right for ches mason. For ches mason, then even the tzaddikim, everyone will become dirt, and then they'll not become dirt. So that's what it says here. And Amar le'ot tzeduki lo Rav Yavo. So it's certain tzedukis in the Ravo. Samis in the Shas Tzaddikim Gnusas Tachas Kisei HaKavod. You said earlier that all the tzaddikim they're hidden. Their neshamas go right under the Kisei HaKavod. And Uve Tamya Heicha Aske Lishma Benegida, right? How were they by Shmuel Navi? He was basically brought up, right? They brought up. There was an oath that brought up Shmuel, his soul, right? That he basically sort of brought back the dead to Shmuel to ask a question of what they should do. And so how was he able to do that, right? If he was under the Kisei HaKavod, how could he go ahead and basically take him the Kisei HaKavod? So Amarle, over there, since it was within 12 months, he was still around. The time it was in a brisa. Kol shnayim asar chodesh gufim kayim. All 12 months, the guf is kayim. The nishmasa elav yeredus, and the neshama goes up and down. The achash asar chodesh. However, once after 12 months, then haguf batal. Then the body is no longer there. The nishmasa ela v'shuv en yeres. Then the soul goes up and stays there. So therefore it stays there. But however, Shmuel was going back and forth, and therefore he was able to be called into this world in order to be asked, I guess, to give advice. All right, we'll stop here. Shkayach, everybody. Have a wonderful day. Enjoy the beautiful